Hi, my name is Jordan Deshawn. I'm an engineer with Water Mission based in Charleston, South Carolina, and this is a video about step 1 of the pumped safe water design tool. This is a new tool that we've developed at Water Mission. So to help you work through the 5 steps of the design process, we've made these training videos that will give you an introduction to the design tool and each step in the process of designing pumped safe water systems. A few reminders about the tool. The main design space is here on the left side. Each step is broken into sections as you scroll down, and the blue cells are for user input or user entry. There are also these icons, the calculator icon and the references icon, and hyperlinks that can take you to the optional calculators or references tab. Lastly, there is an optional space on the right side where you can type notes or enter your own calculations. So please feel free to use this space. So getting back to step 1, the main question we're trying to answer here is, what is the water demand of the population being served? And there's 2 key components in that question, the population and the water demand, shown by these sub-steps 1A and 1B. Now you might notice that this tab is very much simplified compared to our other water demand tabs that we've had in previous design tools. There's only 2 basic places where you can enter information. You first define the population and answer the question, what population is the system designed to serve? And then you answer the question, how was the design population determined? So it gives you a lot of flexibility to enter whatever number you think is appropriate and justify your choice by writing a detailed description of how you determined that population. Now you may be wondering, well, how do I actually calculate the population? How do I calculate the water demand? This is where we can use the optional calculators tab. So let's click on this blue link and see where it takes us. Okay, look, we've come to the optional calculators tab, and it's already highlighted the section that's relevant for the link that we just clicked. It's all about population. You'll notice in this example project, we see some numbers here. Total present population, the growth rate, and the number of years over which we want to design to calculate a future population. So that number, 4,120, we see is the same number entered here, and that makes sense. The engineer wrote that further explanation based on a present population of 3,313. The future population was calculated in 11 years based on a 2% population growth. See the optional calculators tab for reference. So that's a great explanation there. Next, let's look at the design water demand. Again, let's maybe click on the optional calculators tab. And look, it highlights that section of water demand. You'll notice the design engineer entered the household population. That's the same as the future population. The total water demand is 50 liters per person per day. And then there's assumed to be 37 liters per person per day that's from the community uses from alternative water sources. That then calculates an estimated water need by subtracting this from this, and we're going to use that chosen water demand of 13 liters per person per day. When that gets multiplied by the future population, the total daily water need is 53.6 meters cubed per day. Down at the bottom, we can enter that number for the daily water demand from households. If there were a need to account for water loss, you could enter that here. But I think this engineer might be assuming that this is already an overestimate because of the future population it's accounting for. And so that all calculates the total daily water demand of 53.6 meters cubed per day. That's what they've entered here, and then they provided another great explanation of how they arrived at that number. At the very end of this tab, we see a summary of the key data points that are the outcomes or outputs of step 1. And that's the design population and the design water demand. So thanks for watching. On the next video, we'll look at step 2, which you could go to by clicking this link, but we'll save that for the next video. As always, if you have any questions, you can contact a Charleston engineer. If you need support using this tool, we're always happy to help. So God bless you in your work.